everyone, Justine with Blue Jay Orchids. Welcome back to my channel. We have a special treat. As I mentioned in my last video, Sandy and I split a huge cattleya Isle of Skye. And today, you're going to see how we divided it. Or should I say how Tristan divided it. He was very kind to divide it for us, so there would be a neutral party dividing it. And so we could film it. So it's a very special treat to be able for him to let us film and view. And there is a little bit of noise. We use the torch quite a bit, so that's going to be a little loud. Apologize for that, but I feel like it's better to leave it in so you can kind of hear basically how hot the flame is, and it kind of gives you an idea of, you can just kind of hear a difference in like flame level sometimes, I think. So I think leaving it in is better. And I might fast forward a little bit, but I don't know. I might just leave it the way it is so you get a full feel of what it was like to divide this orchid. And at the very end, there's a few blooms from his personal collection. So hope you guys enjoy, and I will see you at the end of the video. All right, so before we get started cutting, what are you doing, sir?
I'm spraying our work area down with a 10% bleach solution. Let that sit for a minute. Try not to get on your clothes, and then that'll ensure that no fungi, bacteria, or viruses are in our workstation here.
Clean surface, people.
Yep, clean surface.
All right, so how do you say your special word for gorgeous?
Gorgina?
Gorgina? You say it special there, though.
Gorgina.
There you go. So I didn't butcher it too bad when I said Gorgina.
I appreciated the call out.
Oh, yeah. Well, Catherine does it, too.
I know. I was like, I've never met anybody else who says it.
I'm filming, by the way. I mean, I like
don't
it.
care.
I like it. I'm just warning you. Because figured I will get a couple little things while we wait. This is some kind of Laelia. Or at least Laelia cross. What's the orange Laelia thing? Alright everyone, I teased it, and we have Isle of Skye being divided. How to by Tristan.
Yeah, so hello.
He's so thrilled.
Yeah, we're gonna, so what we're doing today is we're gonna show you how to divide a big cattleya. This is for Justine and Sandy here, and we're gonna try and cut it as closely and as easily down the middle as we can, and try and do as little damage to the plant as possible.
Because we are heading into winter.
We are heading into the wrong season, but
we also live in Florida, so
a lot of these big cattleyas like this, they have root growth at this time of year, so that's our saving grace. Is
I can zoom in a little bit. So if you see let's see, there we go, the green tips there, we have new growth and new roots.
Yep.
So
that's what you're looking for.
We shouldn't piss it off too bad.
Yeah.
We're still gonna piss it off, but
so ideally spring would be a better time, but if you got to do it, then you got to do it. And that would be your next best thing to look for is active growth. So we have gone ahead and sterilized everything. We bleached the table down, which is really important, and a lot of people don't realize it, but I just washed my hands with Dawn dish soap. So you really want to make sure if you're touching plants that you're washing your hands in between plants as often as you can, and or just changing out different gloves, like using gloves in between different plants.
Don't touch me, I'm sterile.
Yeah, so usually touching a plant like this on the foliage, you're not at risk of spreading too many pathogens because the waxy cuticle protects the plant a little bit. But when you're cutting a plant, you're going to be having all sorts of detritus and plant material on your hands, and you're going to be cutting into active roots, which are going to have, phloem and xylem, and those juices are going to be exposed, and you can transmit bacteria, fungal diseases, and most importantly viruses into the plant with your hands when you're touching.
Yeah, so I would say think of it as like if you were dealing with an open wound.
Yeah.
When you don't have an open wound, not a whole lot of stuff can get in, it's your skin. When you start cutting something, it's basically you rip the scab off, you're bleeding.
Yep.
So don't do that.
Yeah, and so another key thing too is a lot of people think, oh, I've got clean plants, I don't have to worry about it. But you should always think, or at least try to pretend as if every single plant that you touch is virus, it's got some sort of disease. Not pretending that it does, but you're just making sure you're as careful and as cautious as possible. Ideally.
It's better to be overcautious than not cautious at all.
That's correct. You know, mistakes still happen, but the less opportunities for diseases to get into your plants, the better. So the first thing that we do is we disinfect, we get our tools ready, and the best and tried true method to disinfect your clippers or any other tools that you're going to be using that's going to contact plant material is just a high heat blowtorch. A lot of people like to use rubbing alcohol or bleach or just like a regular lighter, which those are so-so. You really want a high heat, 300 degrees plus, to kill any viruses that are going to infect the plants, as well as any fungal spores, bacteria. Alcohol does pretty good for killing some pathogens, but there are some plant pathogens that alcohol is not really all that good at killing. So
don't you have to like leave it in there for a while too? It's not like instant.
So yeah, with your liquid disinfectants, if you're going to go that route, you need at least 10 minutes of contact for most of them. And even still, why do that when you can just
get instant gratification?
Yeah, just do it real quick. So once the torch ready, I like to get a really nice one.
Just done it enough where you just kind of...
After a while, I kind of just know when they've been in the flame long enough. I try to just get all the surfaces as best I can. So really nice and hot. Some people tell you need to get it red hot. You don't need to get it red hot. You just need to get it hot enough that as soon as it touches any sort of moisture or anything, you're going to hear a sizzle. As the steam is created as you cut through the tissue. The thicker the metal, the longer you're probably going to have to hold it in the flame.
And then you're not cooling it down at all. You want that heat.
I want the heat because we're doing two things here. We're sterilizing our tools first and foremost. And then after that, what we're doing is we're working with hot tools. So as we're cutting through the plant material, it's flash steaming any of the moisture that's in the cells, and that steam in itself is a really good disinfectant. So you're basically cauterizing the wound as you go. And some people don't think about that, but if you're going to use pliers or anything like that, anything, even if it's just for a second, if it's going to touch plant material, you want to clean it. So I clean my my pliers as well.
Okay, and then I just have it in the terracotta because it kept falling over.
Yeah. So we're going to bust her open here. And you'll notice, even though I just sterilized it, I still like to torch them once again just to get the clippers hot when I cut it. Mm-hmm. And if you get close enough, you'll be able to hear the steam. And a lot of times, if this came from the nursery I work at, we pot clip it.
So before you rip it apart, make sure you don't have a clip.
Make sure you don't have a clip blocking it in there. Otherwise, you're going to be ripping and ripping. Well, that one's rusted through, so not a big deal. But what I like to do is, if you got a really root-bound plant, is to take it against the edge of the table or whatever you're working on. Just really just massage the pot, put a lot of weight on it.
And I didn't water it, so normally we like to work with wet roots or...
It depends on the plant. It depends on what you're doing to the plant. If you've got a plant that's got some like rot or disease in there, I try not to water it as much, because then you're just moving a lot of spores and pathogens around. Let's say you had a plant that's half rotten, half good. I would work as dry as I can and try to be as clean as I can. But this is an otherwise healthy plant.
So should we water it some?
We could water it, but it's not a huge ordeal. Sometimes it helps to...
if it's really stuck, if you want to salvage roots, I think.
Yeah. You know what? On second thought, I think we are going to water, because this one's pretty root bound.
Yeah,
so
it's pretty stuck in there.
Yeah.
Hold, people.
All right, no more cussing. Okay.
I have warned them, people. I don't want to edit out. I could do bleeps, though. That would be fun.
That would be fun.
That would be really fun, even if it's like I'm not saying cuss words. You bleep out certain words so it sounds like I'm cussing.
Yeah.
So take all this stuff off that hold the plant up for display. And now we got to work. We tried to thoroughly wet the root system here and maybe soften it up a little bit. And if it was my plant, I would be a little bit more haphazard with it. But we're going to be trying gentle as possible.
That and we're filming.
And we're filming, yeah.
Oh, you just killed a root.
Well, it probably won't be the last one.
And we are fighting a little bit of rain, but we're going to stay out here until it's really raining. So hopefully someone do some rain dances to say, rain, go away. Make sure you're not doing the rain dance that says it's coming, though.
No, this is the go away.
Okay.
Even my shoe is squeaking.
Okay. Can I film that? That was actually really funny. All right. And this is my friend Sandy. This is her go away rain dance. I don't know, people. I think leave some comments and let us know if you thought this was awesome, because I think it's awesome.
Are we attached to the green pot? Because I'm going to cut the green pot.
No, we are not attached to the green pot. Are you attached to the green pot?
Nor.
Yeah, I would have already cut the green pot by now.
Well,
I might also like just film a lot of it and then speed it up and put some music over it. Unless like we just have our hilarious conversations going on that are funny. What?
nothing, just laughing to myself. There's always something funny going on in my head.
Can't you share with the class?
Yeah, you weren't we were not contributing to the funny. It was all self-inflicted funny.
Yep. Alright, so there we go.
Was it not appropriate to share with the class?
I've already forgotten what I was thinking about.
Classic.
I don't remember 5 minutes ago.
ADHD at its finest, people.
Alright, so here you go. You can see there's a lot of styrofoam peanuts in there. This mix is, you know, it's actually pretty good. You can tell there's some root decay. As the mix gets older, you're going to lose more and more roots. But you see have a whole bunch of good roots here. Unfortunately, a lot of those are going to have to go. That's just what you have to do when you cut a plant like this, because
The trauma and the dividing it.
and the dividing, those roots that have been there for a year or so are not going to survive anyway.
Yeah, and
so
they're
you want to get rid of them.
even when you repot though, you typically cut a lot.
Yeah, depending on the time of the year. If this time of year, I do try to do less root damage to keep more of the roots, just because. But during the spring, yeah, sometimes we'll be very brutal with it, and we'll just cut almost every single root off the plant.
Because it's better to have it grow new roots. The theory behind it, it's better to grow new roots than to have roots rotting in the pot.
Yeah, and the other thing is, you know, sometimes you want to keep a little bit of good, healthy root system just to anchor the plant down. That helps hold it stable in the pot.
Do you need one of us to hold it, or
I'm just trying to get a good
eye on it?
Yeah, look at where I want to cut. So what I'm going to do, probably maybe do a little root trimming.
So you can actually see the rhizome?
And then find a good place on the rhizome.
Well, it's hard too because we're trying to divide it in half. If it was a personal plant, there are tons of places you can see easy division.
If you're just trying to make divisions, there'd be a lot of different places. But since we're trying to split this plant in two, I'm trying to figure out.
And a fairly even too.
Yeah.
So it's not like all old growth, all new growth too. Because that would be one way you could divide it.
Yeah. And so when I look at a cattleya like this, you know, they have a big rhizome here. And I want to keep as much of that intact as I can, as long as it's healthy tissue. But sometimes you want to start from the old growth if it's easier to find a way, but sometimes you have to look at it from where the new growth is starting to find where a good location to cut the plant would be.
And I'd say it's better to take your time and think about it and kind of develop a plan before you just start chopping too.
Yeah.
Because you can't really uncut.
Can't uncut. No, you cannot. All right, so here's what we're gonna do. Trying to get some of this root ball off.
You looking away?
I was trying to find the name of the dendrobium that I gave Catherine because I forgot to put a tag in it, but I can get it when I get home.
It doesn't help if it's cold. My fingers are like not working.
It's not that cold.
I just watered the plant and like the water's making my hands cold.
Okay, fair.
Do you want to get some of this root system off? Good lord, that is a big root ball.
Yeah, there's a reason I made you do this.
So, well, there you go. There's a testament to our fertilizer at the nursery, because that is a solid chunk of roots in there.
And the only reason it looks like it started crawling out is because it didn't have any more room in the pot.
It just grew until it had no more space, and now it's growing out. They will find their own space.
Is that its nursery number, 679?
Yeah, that's a catalog number, so we know what it is, what's been done to it, when it was done to it, all that sort of good stuff.
Yeah, because this was a keeper plant.
This was a nice keeper plant from the stud house.
Ooh, she's a stud.
Yes. She was used in breeding at some point?
Oh, maybe. This is a very, it's been cloned a couple times with Isle of Skye. I don't know how to pronounce the cultivar. Nereid.
What?
Nereid? I don't know how you pronounce it.
Oh, the like...
Nereid looks right.
Yeah.
Yeah,
This
the
is
clone name.
It's a stud plant because it's a really good clone, grows really fast, and as y'all saw, it makes a huge head of flowers.
Is this the same one that's growing on the tree in the front? By checkout?
There might be one of these.
Well, it might be an Isle of Skye, but it might be a different clone.
There's quite a different blue ones that we have at the nursery on the trees as landscape plants.
Yeah, because Sia Cortez is one of them.
Sia Cortez, yeah.
There's quite a few blue orchids at your nursery that have ended up at my house, too.
Yeah. See, there's
Me
just
too.
a solid. You can see the old mix in there. It's still good, but there's just a solid mass of roots.
Yeah.
And those are all decayed, yeah.
Well, they're
Some of them weren't.
No, they're not actually decaying. They're just old. I can tell. They're still got quite a bit of life to them. The inner, this cortex material sloughs off, but the inside of the roots look really good.
Yeah, so they're still... Yeah, you still have the, like, texture is still there.
Mm-hmm.
Couldn't think of the word. I'm so glad we're not doing this.
Mm-hmm.
Tristan's like, yeah, I am also glad that you're not doing it.
No, he would prefer to not be doing it himself. He's being a very good sport.
Oh.
But we are going to let him pick a little piece.
Yeah.
That's his reward at the end.
We'll just see how it comes out. Because if it comes out too
Perfect.
perfectly even house, I do not want to cut anymore.
That's true.
I mean, I do this.
He is kind of
all
a
the
professional.
time. I don't know a professional. Just
Well, this is somewhat in your job description.
we do have quite a bit of folks at the greenhouse who do this much quicker and more efficiently than I do.
That's true. Oh, I saw some give where it looks like maybe we're starting to get some natural separation.
Mm-hmm.
And what I mean by that is sometimes the rhizomes are attached, but you'll notice there are weak points where they want to split.
Yeah. And because of the time of year, see all this is all this year's root material right here.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna do the best that I can to keep as much of that as I can. So it might make it more time consuming to find a good separation place.
Yeah.
But if I don't have to cut all this good active root material, I'm not going to.
Well, and it was used to growing outside the pot, so you don't have to worry about switching the media as much, because it's basically, that's ready to be mounted.
Yeah. So
Because it's already been growing out in the air.
So all of this material here, even though a lot of those roots were still active or still providing nutrients to the plant, they're going to go because they were
Making it impossible, and they still have some life, but they're going to have a shorter life.
They're going to immediately start to break down and die as soon as we divide this plant. And the less organic material for pathogenic fungi to get a hold of, like Rhizoctonia or Fusarium, a lot of those are opportunistic pathogens. You know, they can live off of as being a saprophyte, you know, just decaying organic material, and then they make their way into the tissues of the plant, and then you get a sick plant.
Yeah, the funny thing is you said sacrifice, and I'm like, sacrifice?
Saprophytic. They're breaking down dead material.
I know, I went to sacrifice, and that's kind of how I feel sometimes when I get the Fusarium. It's just, here is the purple ring of death, sacrifice, take it and don't infect the rest of my plants.
All right.
More fire, people.
So I think I can see a good place to cut it. I just want to be certain. So if you ever see me at the nursery just looking at a plant, staring at it, and you're wondering what is he doing,
This is what he's doing. He's trying to figure out where to cut
trying
it.
to figure out where a good place to cut it, because like you said earlier, you can only cut, you can't uncut. So
Unless you're editing, you can uncut a
you can
lot when
uncut
you're
it.
editing.
You can make it look like you don't, you actually know what you're doing with editing. But today we're gonna try and be careful.
You're always too modest. You have a fairly good idea of what you're doing, I'd say. Would you agree, Sandy?
Yes,
I'm gonna cut it right there.
very much.
They're gonna lose a couple bulbs.
I think there's enough.
It's gonna be fine. Oh yeah, there's a, I'm like, why is it not cutting? That rusted pot clip is probably still in there. I was like, oh man, that feels like metal.
It's like, oh, maybe it is.
Maybe there.
I'm
oh,
like,
yeah,
You found the metal?
I found the metal. That's the easiest way to dull a pair of clippers right there, is finding an old pot clip. Oh, good job, Tristan.
It's fine. Did it actually cut through?
No.
So now you have to find the...
Now I gotta find the pot clip, yep. So where is that pot clip? Should be down there somewhere.
And I'm sorry if the video's a little sloped, but we are on a tiny bit of a hill. So
Back there it's not very flat.
in Florida, we do that a lot for drainage. Do you know very many flat, like, backyards in Florida? Because I think all of it's runoff. Like, they want it to run off.
I mean, if you just want a swamp,
Yeah.
then you can level it, but
Where are you, pot clip? Here we are. And there you go. That'll make that a lot easier.
Yeah, I was going to say, it was really hard to cut, but it should be going through somewhat.
And this is why I keep a pair of sharpen. Because I just really, if you do that enough times, you gouge out your steel.
Ah. So you're sharpening it with just a razor blade?
No, this is
Actual sharpener?
it's a sharpener just for clippings like this. It's just a really hard, some sort of carbide or something.
Huh.
And when you cut through that metal, unfortunately a lot of times gouges it out. I'm just trying to get rid of that burr that I just made.
Because you want a nice clean cut.
Yeah, it makes your life a lot easier.
Someone did something. Someone called me or something. Or like I got a notification. We're back though.
Okay, so it looks like
And it wasn't enough where it's Catherine, so we're good. Cold, stand closer to the flame.
I'm okay now. Now that it's more humid from the rain, it feels a little warmer.
Yeah, and it stopped raining. Your rain dance worked.
I told you.
Well, your anti-rain dance
Yeah.
worked. So I'm moving you around on the camera a fair bit, but I'm just trying to get you as many angles so you can kind of see what's going on. Because it's a little hard, and I'm also trying not to put the camera in Tristan's face.
that's all right. So here, let's look. So right in here is where I've made the main separation. You can see it's loose now, but I'm trying to save this new growth here. I'm trying to clip it off of the other half while being as careful as I can not to cut into the rhizome, because if you cut into the rhizome, there's a good chance you'll either open that to infection or it'll just die. And so I'm trying to tease it apart carefully to get these two halves to come apart without doing too much damage. And that's what the thin shears here are for. So I'm just trying. I might end up doing a little bit of damage inadvertently, but so will be it. It's got to come apart.
The goal is there to not do it, but sometimes it happens.
Just controlled damage. Planned damage. That's what I'm trying to go for here.
Plan damage, plant damage.
Yeah, planned plant damage.
Yes, we are all around plants too much, people.
I'm learning.
It makes us a little crazy, I guess.
We also tend to talk to ourselves, but we're filming it for the world, so technically we're talking to thousands of people.
I usually cuss at them, especially if I hurt myself in the process of cutting them. It just makes me feel a little better. That plant did it on purpose. And there we go.
Alrighty,
Two
look at that.
fairly good looking halves. We'll make sure that Sandy gets the one with the yucky growth.
No, we won't. We'll figure it out.
So I do admit that this one here is a little bit bigger.
You can take a chunk.
See, I don't want to do that though, because let's take a look here. You've got
We can
good
always
set of growth here.
give him more later.
And a good
That's
set of
true.
growth there. And for what you paid for it, I know what you paid for it. I won't say it. I'd say I'm not going to take anything off. So
Okay,
that's a really good division right there.
Is it fair if I take the bigger half and then when mine gets bigger, I give him a piece?
It goes. It goes.
It's pretty even.
It's all right, guys. I mean, I work there, so if I ever want another piece, I know where they came from. So,
All right, well, we're going to go into some deep discussion
About
as to
who
who gets
gets-
what now.
so here you were asking me earlier about what this is. So this was a new growth. Like as we were staging the plants, I'm sure this got kinked over, and some people think that's rot, but it was just really sensitive new growth that we happened to kink, and we damaged the plant a little bit. So I'm going to try and be really careful. And look, it actually
healed itself.
it actually did heal a little bit. So we're going to just leave it on there. There's
Just
a good
cut
chance
off the-
it'll flop off and fall off anyways. But your new pseudobulb here is still forming, so I'm just going to clip off the dead, and we can even soak these plants in a little bit of ban rot if we're worried about infection from cutting it. But I'm going to just do my best to leave that because this is still growing and it'll
And
still be
if
viable.
nothing else, that growth might get stunted, but it will have the new eyes, and the
Yeah.
new eyes will actually pop out faster, providing new roots.
Yeah, so if that was rot, I would probably cut it down here close to the eye, but since it was just mechanical damage that's turned into, some yuck here, we'll just clip it there and it should be okay.
I'm learning.
I know, it's just...
I'm focusing very hard.
So they have a word for this. There's sheathing, that the blooms come out of it. We call this sheathing too. This is just protecting the new pseudobulb because this new pseudobulb is really soft. And so I don't want to cut too much of it off because it is protecting the new pseudobulb. And a lot of times water will get trapped down in there and inadvertently cause rot. But damned if you do, damned if you don't. So if you take it off, you're gonna...
Yeah, most of the time when
Damage
you
the
want to
plant.
take it off, you want it to look more like this.
Yeah.
This darker brown where it looks like it's already ready to come off.
Yep. So, Sandy, if you want their piece, I would recommend cutting these off. But if you don't want any more roots, if this is your piece or if this is Justine's piece, y'all can decide if you want it.
Dealer's choice.
Don't make him do that.
We can make Catherine decide.
I know, but both of them are my friends. I feel like that's mean. Maybe we have to do something fair. Or we're gonna stop filming and have a discussion. Rock, paper, scissors. All right, ready? Oh, wait,
Oh,
what are we
it's
doing?
1, 2, 3, and then your sign is on the 4th. Rock, paper, scissors, shoot.
Yeah.
Okay. I obviously have not done rock, paper, scissors. We are deciding very, adult-like.
Diplomatic.
Decide who gets the bigger piece. Best 2 out of 3. Rock, paper, scissors.
Rock, paper, scissors, shoot.
Ah!
Alright. Rock, paper, scissors, shoot. Rock, paper, scissors, shoot. Rock, paper, scissors, shoot.
Ah!
Oh,
tie.
Oh, it's a tie.
Alright, last one.
Sudden death.
Here, shake out the... Get the arms ready. This is hilarious. Is Are we actually in focus?
I don't know.
Don't delay. Do not stall.
Alright, ready?
This is gold.
Can't even anymore.
Ah!
Wait, who? I didn't see.
I do one.
Scissors.
Okay.
Because it was either she was gonna do scissors again or paper. Oh, that was hilarious.
Yeah, you got to use some mind tricks when you're playing rock paper scissors. It was a fair game.
It was fair.
I hope that's in focus. He did at least film it. Alright, after that thrilling rock, paper, scissor battle, we have a decision. And this is most likely going to be Sandy's, although there was a change and stuff, so we'll see. I'll keep you updated. But I know, I'm like an announcer. I got to make this exciting, people.
All right.
Currently, we are potting this.
So we're potting it, and they voted for lava rock. That's my recommendation. I love lava rock. It's going to be it's hard to go wrong with a big cattleya and lava rock. So this is just about the right size for this division anyways, so probably just put some lava rock here in the bottom. Row. No.
I got it.
Disaster avoided.
Just like you cut me in half. I'm out of here.
All right.
The bigger one tried to run away.
It's not the sturdiest of tables.
Well, like I said before, we're also sloped.
So we did leave a good bit of that root ball in there, like I said, just because of the time of the year.
And anchoring.
Yes, and anchoring this bad boy back in there. You all signed the waivers that if it dies, it's not my fault, right?
Absolutely. I knew what I was getting into.
I like how you throw that in there.
It's not the most money I've ever paid for a plant, so
Oh. Oh, that's true, because we split it.
yeah.
If we paid the original price,
It would have been the most expensive plant I ever bought, yeah.
I would
'Cause
like
same-
to say that I've never spent that much on a plant, but
I don't
that'd be a
believe
lie.
you.
Some of those new Phoenicias, they get up there.
Yeah. Hey, at least it's a big plant for what you spent.
Yes.
Because some of those Neos are tiny.
For a Neo, though, some of mine are big.
Oh, yes. I'm just saying Neos in general.
I think my most expensive plant is that Altissima back there.
The
Oh,
what?
which one?
We can look at it later. That is sickly Altissima. It's probably the most I've ever paid
Is
for a
it
plant.
blooming?
It is in spike and it'll bloom in January.
What color is it?
It is yellow with brown tessellations, and they smell like honeycomb.
And it looks like honeycomb.
Yeah, it's super rare plant from I think they grow in the Bahamas, Turks and Caicos. It's kind of like a lithophyte.
And in case you guys are wondering, no, we're not exactly talking anything about the plant right now.
No.
We're doing.
No,
Other
yeah,
plants.
it's completely somewhere else. I can do this. Not even think about it.
But yeah, I mean, it was pretty straightforward. You find a pot that's the right size. And right now, we're just using the lava rock to basically hold it in place.
That's why I like lava rock, because it's porous. It holds a little bit of moisture. It's made of there's a lot of iron and manganese and magnesium in this, and the plants they love it. I'm pretty sure it's going to be pH neutral. I'm not quite sure, but it doesn't break down. It holds the plant together really nicely, and like the leca balls that people like to use, those are really hard to pot with because they're round and
Oh yeah, they roll
fall
all over
right
the
out.
place. I've
Yeah.
used leca before.
I use almost exclusively lava rock at home.
And the other thing is, a lot of it's about your condition too. So we're in Florida, we're going to be growing these outside. We need something that if we get those heavy rains in the summer, it just goes right through. Because if not, we get a lot of rot.
The only downside is if it's really hot and dry,
You got to water
you
like
gotta
crap,
water a lot.
which I
but
don't.
It's a lot easier to kill a cattleya by overwatering it than underwatering it. And if you happen to be an overwaterer, the lava rock helps you some.
And if you're an underwaterer, you can always water more, you can't water less.
That's right.
Haha. See, there's some benefit to my madness. That and I just don't have time.
There's only so much. If you use a good systemic fungicide, it's like the icing on the cake. It can help, but torrential rains, constant wet plant, it's kind of hard to avoid killing or letting a plant rot if it's just wet all the time.
Yeah, I got Thai on a bunch of my Vandas. I'm so upset.
Yeah. Well, at least Thai is a whole different monster.
I mean, I know they won't die, they're just ugly.
Yeah. All right, that's just
Now
about
you
how
Which
know
is
they
the
won't
same
die.
thing.
You happy with it,
Just kidding.
Sandy?
Yes, she looks beautiful.
Can you take her just so she's out of the way
Yes.
now?
Don't worry, you'll come home with me.
We can go give it some bone rot in a minute.
Oh, we're getting the orchids are getting the full spa treatment, people.
I like to do that with mine. Especially cutting at the wrong time.
Hold on. Do the love holding it again.
My new baby.
Should we cut some of the flowers or it doesn't matter?
They're gonna fall off here in a day or two, anyways, I can tell. Can we keep that one there?
Well, I'm thinking cut these. Because they're gonna. Or you think leave them a little bit?
And we can cut them. Justine, your pot doesn't hold the rock.
It does and it doesn't. It'll be fine.
Just put enough of them in there.
Where is that piece of black wire?
You told me not to bring the zip tie.
No, the twisty tie stuff.
Oh, with the tag on it?
Oh,
Probably gone.
pocket.
Let's see it.
I gotta get a tag maker.
I have the Brother label maker. Works pretty well.
Yeah?
Except for I ran out of the label part. I have to order the new
Sarah
thing.
has a tag maker.
I don't have the tag maker. Mine prints a sticker and I can put it on the tag. It's been holding up well though. He's fancy though. He has metal tags and engraves them.
Oh, that's good.
Right?
Yeah. At least I do for my nice plants, for Catherine's plants. Plastic.
Should I leave that in there or do you want me to edit that out?
That's alright.
I think she probably knows.
Yeah, I have a feeling she probably
It's
does.
a joke. All of my wife's plants are the keeper plants. She gets the
She gets the
metal
nice
tag.
plants.
And they are nice because she tells me they're nice.
Oh. You hate my pot yet?
I do. I really dislike the pot, but it's a pretty pot. I just dislike it.
The functionality of it.
I am very vanilla in that as you can tell, there's a lot of just plastic and terracotta. It's not the prettiest, but I think the plant should be the centerpiece, not the pot. But that is just me.
I like the airflow in this though. And it's basically like a hybrid. It's like mounting and potting.
It's gonna be really hard to kill this plant by rotting in this pot. Which
Yeah.
that is a good thing. It's always a good thing. It's also really hard to keep the material in.
Need some extra big lava rock.
Extra big. Broken into this one. Sometimes you get a bag of lava rock and it's just like all large pieces
Yeah.
and it's like all little pieces.
Well, I think I used all the large pieces already. Because mine was kind of at the end of the barrel.
Yeah, no, but I'm just saying, like, sometimes you'll find a bag of lava rock and it's just like, oh, this is all
Bricks.
bricks. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Tennis balls.
I do feel like this is a child. I'm like holding it on my hip and bouncing it.
Yeah, you hold it how I hold my
Yeah,
son.
it's your orchids.
It's my kids.
Your orchids.
Or what do you call them? Chids?
Kids, chids.
No, you call your orchids like, you spell it, it's chids.
Oh, yeah.
Chids.
It's like apostrophe KHIDS.
Yeah.
Be like, these are my orchid children, and these are my biological children.
Oh, I took a picture of it in the chair. It is the same size as my youngest son. It was literally the same size as my youngest
It's
son.
like, it's me.
Until
as
I
a
cut
plant.
all that off of it.
Oh, yeah. Da,
But
da,
that
da,
was-
da.
Yeah. It's all back bulbs and root material.
I mean, it's still a pretty good size, both of them.
Yeah.
I mean, this would still be about what we paid for
This-
that size.
You asked me if we wanted to go triples, and I was like, triples is really gonna
Piss it off.
It's not gonna divide well into three, and somebody's gonna get the short end of the shaft.
It looks so beautiful, like all bunched up upright like that.
Yeah, is it bad to bunch it, or?
See, that's what damaged it for display. We will tie them up and stake them, and it makes a really pretty display. But if you're not careful, that's what happens is you'll break new foliage. It's not. I mean, the plant is robust enough. You're not going to really damage it. I mean, you're not doing that with a seedling or a near blooming seedling.
But is it better to kind of just let it grow on its own after it establishes, or?
Yes and no. It depends on what you want to just have nice plants, or do you want to display plants for show. If you're going to show your plants, then yeah, you need to groom them, tie them up, and stake them.
Okay.
But otherwise, I'm just growing for myself, so I just let them bloom the way they want to. But then you run into the problem with a lot of cattleyas.
They kind of go...
They're so heavy, they've been bred for so much big flower material that a lot of times they'll break themselves off before their time has come, and so then you end up with a shorter lifespan on the flower. And sometimes staking it up can really help keep the buds from being damaged if you're jostling it around.
Yeah, especially some of like the longer stem stuff.
Yep, absolutely. So this one is not, I am not as confident.
That's why I was saying I was going to use zip ties. But you kind of put it with lava rock now.
The deed is done now.
Well, I can keep it in the lanai and not let it get all jostled around.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, once the roots stop grabbing, it's not going to be a problem. Because in theory, you don't want like any movement while you want the roots establishing, correct?
That's right. That is right.
But also, if you're not having it in a spot where it's getting jostled all the time, as long as you have a decent connection, it should be fine. Yes, it smells.
Oh, it smells so good. Just kidding, I'll take my piece.
Well, it's a little late now.
He just goes, no, it isn't. And he turns it over and jumps it out.
Turns it upside down. We're starting over.
I have a feeling she'll grow outside the pot, so it should be pretty easy to get you a division.
Yeah, this is actually a good plant for that, because they do grow sideways quite a bit. There we go. There's about, we might have to pot clip it, but that's about how I believe it.
Do you have a pot clip?
Maybe, or I can always make one
Oh, fancy.
with some sealing wire or something.
Alright, and then the lava rock we get, people. Any Home Depot or Lowe's in the landscape area, mulch area probably.
That's correct. That's where it's
And the nice thing, not that expensive.
Yeah, it's like $6 or $7 for a big bag of it.
And then, where did you get this?
The torch or the propane?
Both.
Propane is just any store. They in the camping section or the tool section, but that's just a
Attachment.
yeah. You can get these at any Lowe's or Home Depot. I like the one with the adjustable, the high heat torch, so you can use it with the MAP gas, even though they don't make MAP gas anymore. But yeah, I like the high heat ones.
Alright, say thank you, Tristan, everybody.
You're welcome. Most very welcome.
He was a very good sport. And I mean,
maybe once upon a time.
how many spikes do you have on it now? And you still have more that are going to open too.
Yeah. I don't really want to count them all. But the cool thing about this plant is it's actually kind of a slow grower. But the new growths always put out a new bloom spike.
Ooh,
and
my
the flowers
favorites.
last long. So the reason it blooms so long is that as the old spikes stay on there, they bloom for months. And then by the time they're faded, you've got a new growth that's developing new flowers. And so it's like you're always got flowers, even though the plant itself is kind of slow growing. Well, not like super slow, but
I know what you mean. It's not like it's not going to get gigantic super fast.
It's like
you got to wait for it.
it's Prostechia vitellina by Richard Mueller. So you've got the super cold, tough, hard to grow Prostechia that gives it the color, and then the Richard Mueller is just a weed of an orchid. You mix them together, and luckily they got the best of both parents.
Yeah. This one was George King's Serendipity, right?
Yep.
Alright everyone, thank you guys so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed. And thank you, Tristan, again one more time for helping us divide this monster of an orchid. And hopefully Sandy and I both get it to grow back to that same size. And what else? I mean, like and subscribe, leave comments. Anything you guys do with any of the videos or the channel kind of helps me grow. And if you have any more comments on or questions relating to the dividing or anything else, feel free to let me know. And hope you guys enjoyed it. And as always, keep growing. Bye.